Try to get insurance on a house when you know your concrete's bad.
I should not be able to do that. That's unbelievable.
Try to get a mortgage on your house. Bank's not going to give you the money.
Look what it just does. This paper turns into tissue.
I've got better toilet paper in my house than that.
Do they think we're idiots? After we've had all these tests done, and because you say everything is fine.
We're talking about a foundation wall. The whole house is built on a foundation wall. It's 1/3 of code, and it's not a major structural defect.
Evidence right in front of you. 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 2 = crap on this house. Oh, yeah, baby. Mike Holmes. But if you're going to do it right the first time. Let's get rid of it. How do you do this to a family? Look at the nest. They got a nest of them. Oh, my God. On the money. 2, 3.
Oh, my God!
It's perfect.
Thank you, guys.
You like it?
Oh, do I ever?
Jeff and Lori bought into this house about 7 years ago, brand new subdivision, and what do I see day in and day out? Problems with the foundation. I think I've had it up to about here with foundations.
Every spring, we would end up going out in the deck, and it'd just be like stone dust and crumbling on the side of the...
And on the side of the house where the garden is, every time I'd put plants in, there was crumbling cement.
Summer's coming. It's all about curing. You pour the concrete, it must cure equally inside to outside. It must be wrapped in the winter, it must be covered in the summer. The sun can dry the outside and not the inside. You have to think about how it cures. Jeff, Lori, how are you?
Come on in.
Nice to see you again.
You too?
Sent a letter to the new home warranty program and said, I think we have a problem. They sent out an inspector and brought the builder with them.
So we have a bit of a foundation issue. Look at it falling apart there, eh? Look at that. Oh my God. You can pull it around apart with your fingers, you know it's not good.
The inspector grabbed one of my hammers and hit the wall a couple of times.
And that was your hammer?
Yeah.
So he just grabbed your hammer and hit the wall?
Yeah.
And he said it's fine?
Yeah, it sounds okay.
It sounds okay. Meanwhile, look at it.
Yeah.
As you walk around the outside, we're seeing it deteriorate. We call that spalling. It's falling apart. Now, this tells me not only did they add more water to the concrete, but they did not protect the outside of the foundation during construction to the elements of weather. So obviously, you know, we're gonna have a lot of issues with people adding water to the concrete because they want it to soup around the form, and this just shows it's crumbling everywhere. It's actually gotten a lot worse since I've last seen it. One thing got at it, whether it was high winds, cold air, or hot sun. Something got at it, and it dried it quickly on the outside and allowed it to cure somewhat equally on the inside.
They left, and I called an engineer. And they came in and did core samples as they had suggested.
They did a core sample in certain areas, correct?
Yeah, yes.
We were down to the area of 7 MPa, if I'm right?
5.
5.
5.
Yeah.
Now, minimum code requirement's 15.
Right.
We took those results, and we sent them to the new home warranty program. And they came back and told us that they can't be that bad.
Okay, well, the outside looks pretty rough. Let's go see the inside.
Okay.
Okay.
When they said they wanted to come in and do another test, and they wanted to look at it, I said, fine, what do you want to do? And they said, well, we're going to bring somebody in, and they're going to bring in a device that's called the Schmidt hammer, and they're going to do a rebound test on the wall.
Why do we have duct tape?
That's where they did the test holes.
That's where they did the test
Yeah,
holes.
there's some down there. They did them on different levels, down the bottom, in the middle, up
Upper
at the
and
top.
lower.
When they use the hammer test, they're supposed to calibrate it to a known strength. So when he was bouncing it off the floor, he was calibrating it off the floor because it's supposed to be 25 MPa.
At some points, especially last summer, it was a really hot summer, you'd push on this and water would just come running down.
And when he did that, I said, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm calibrating it to know what the strength is. And I said, well, how do you know what the strength of the floor is? He said, well, it has to be a minimum of 25 MPa. I said, yeah, but the wall has to be a minimum of 15. We already know that's not 15.
Since I'm here, and I am going to do a lot of work to
There's
this.
a lot of darts up there. So.
They came back and they said they had results that were indicating that the concrete was a lot stronger than the compressive strength tests suggested. And I said, well, the compressive strength tests are the definitive test. They tell you what the strength is, according to all the experts.
Isn't that great? We put up insulation to stop moisture issues, and what do we get? That is soaking wet.
Unless we do another compressive strength test, you're never going to know. So they said, well, we'll want to bring in our own people to do that. I said, that's fine, as long as you do it, and when you do it, we get to pick 2 places right where we want it done, and we'll have them tested by someone else.
Concrete here is soaking wet.
Well, we've had a dehumidifier running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 8 years.
We didn't have to have ours tested because when they came back, their tests were worse than ours.
So, minimum code requirements is 15 MPa. We have engineer tests from 2 independent engineers stating 6 to 8 MPa.
The whole house is built on these walls that are 1/3 of what the code calls for.
Warring with the new home warranty, warring with the builder of the company. Do you think they're gonna come back in and do what we're gonna do to this home, and that's put in a new foundation on the inside? No, it costs them money. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it right. And
Lucky
through
for
this, I'll bring you back in once I've opened it up to see if I find anything else, and we'll take a look at it, and I'll let you know exactly what we're gonna do.
Okay.
All right.
That's
We
perfect.
appreciate it.
Keep smiling. It won't be
Thanks.
long, okay?
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, we'll talk to you.
The kicker is, they could have done this, they could have tested that concrete for $50. I guarantee you, you go to any new home buyer who's paying $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for a house, and if you said to them, look, for $50, we can guarantee you the concrete's gonna be sound, they'd pay it.
Are we finishing this basement?
No. No. We're fixing the structure.
Okay.
I want to get on to another job.
We're sitting here looking at dust on this and crumbling concrete. I didn't care who supplied it. I just knew we had bad concrete.
And let's get the first things out of our way. Washer, dryer, let's get them right out into the garage.
Okay.
Let's pull all the insulation down, vapor barrier. Let's take it off as a roll if we can. We're going to be putting in an 8-inch cinder block wall with footings, interior weeping. I need to clear the outside perimeter. And I always want to make sure we have water in the house. Disconnect, probably cap it off here.
We'll joist line this cavity, okay? Leave the elbow inside the cavity.
So it picks up off it.
That's right, joist line it over, pick up the duct here, pick up the next one over, double box from here to here, and then tap it on the back and go over to the return area. That's it.
We're asking for a new footing right beside the existing footing. Right.
We spent a lot of time coming up with a game plan on how we're going to do this because you're talking major structure of the house that is attached by the garage to the other house.
So I think if we go 24 inches, it would probably be the best mark. That's going to give us more than enough for our gravel bed, our weeping tile system.
It'd be easy to lift this house, drop the foundation, and put in a new one, but we can't lift it because of the tie-in. This is the big problem.
So we need a 14-inch footing to there to accommodate our new 8-inch block wall that's going on it.
I didn't like the 4-inch cinder block, but when John said, let's put in an 8-inch, I started thinking about it. I went, you know what, that's a really good idea.
Let's make some noise, guys.
At this point, I'm in the $60,000 to $80,000 range just to fix the structure. You have to move everything, cut the floor, footings, insulation, new wall, interior weeping, disconnect any electrical that's in the way, any plumbing that's in the way, re-divert it. You're talking a royal pain in the butt here just to solve a problem of low MPa on the foundation. Man, imagine that. Someone yelling out, add more water. Does that go anywhere?
Yes, we checked it out. That is the return air for the floor above. You can see the grill right there.
You buggers.
So that was never sucking anything.
Okay, so that means we got to close off the floor and bring it up here and tie in off of here.
That's correct.
Oh,
Big
isn't that
time.
nice?
That is a big time fire hazard.
Don't people think, eh?
That's very important to put in lint traps in these pipes.
What we can do, if you choose to have this moved forward, it's just a matter of cutting this right out. So putting in a brand new LB, extending the wire that's coming from the meter,
We'd have to change it anyways, right?
change the wire so that I can get more length on it. And then, yeah, remount this to the
More
new,
than anything, I would like insulation in behind it where they don't have it. So just because of that, do I pull the freaking thing? Damn. All this for insulation. Ay, 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 ay.
Pull this up. Once I've got the whole board up, I'll mount it temporarily to
We'll just
up
tie it
there.
off. Just swing
Tie
it
it
up
off.
like a door, tie
That's
it
it.
off.
I don't like the oxidization that's built up on that anyway. You're talking a couple of bucks of new wire. We'll just rerun it.
All right, I'll call you when I'm ready to pull this then.
Initially, there was a wrapping bathroom that was provided by the builder, but that was obviously up against the wall. Now we have to cut everything out because we're going to be moving 8 inches away. So that's going to offset everything, including the stacks and the vent stacks, as well as some piping on the ground. We're going to take care of the stack up there as well as the vent.
And we'll just 90 it now.
Yeah, we can do that right now, yeah.
Yeah, that way we've set for future, because once I spray foam, yeah, just 90 it now, yeah.
Now that we have everything open, we'll run the video camera so we can see the condition of the line, of the sanitary line.
So you have a video camera too?
Yes, we do, yeah.
Ah, if you're gonna do it right the first time.
Exactly.
I like that. Since we're open,
So,
let's scope it
yeah.
and take a look at it. I like that.
With the new subdivision, some houses, as they settle, the pipe may get deformed. You may lose the right slope, which will allow the water to accumulate. As the water accumulates, the debris starts accumulating, including grease and other waste. Everything is fine. It's a plastic line all the way out to the city. There's no problems. There's no offsets, no cracks, no settling. Everything is perfectly fine.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 2x4s. One carrying load. These are the two loads. This is a facing for drywall. So one, there should be a second one here. And we come out on the double, which is acceptable with a single. We have a vertical 2x4 not underneath it, just nailed it in the front. As a matter of fact, oh, so we had a gun. 1, 2, 3, 4 nails plus a driven nail by hammer. Not underneath. Cut it there, cut it down, and pull all of this. Keep using the stairs for travel, guys, with buckets, right? We're gonna be working around each other like a fast food restaurant. Yeah. I'll take a cheeseburger and fries with gravy. Oh, that's cute. Look at that, Damon. No shims. That's got to be over 2 inches away from the structure. Nothing. They blew nails into nothing. It's not. It was all done, held by the casing. The other side is the same thing. Nothing in code says you can't do this. Nothing, by the way. This is just not smart. That's the bottom line. Look how moist this wall is.
Yeah, this one too.
Oh, this is gonna come off in a billion pieces. Oh my God, that's soggy. I pulled off the drywall here. What do we see? No vapor barrier. There was vapor barrier here. There's vapor barrier here. None here. How does it tie into the wall? It doesn't. Look at that. It almost looked like it burnt, eh? But it's not. It's just deteriorated. There's your copper line again. Saying, when you see the copper turn green like that, that means this wall has moisture in it. One of the best countries in the world, and what do we have? Our minimum code to me is just not good enough. Every time I open it up, we show it, it proves it. This is minimum code. Look at all this. Now, what's this going to do in the future is build mold. It's a tar paper, right? I keep talking about paper. Smart, real smart. There's no thermal breaking behind this wood. This is supposed to be what, an R10? How thin is that insulation? That's really thin. That's really, really thin. It's supposed to be an R10, right? Where's the R10 here where the 2x4 is, right? Where's the insulation here? None. Everything's based on this, not this. Now it's nice down here, right? Nice down here. That's what I always want to see. I want to see it like that. Even though I don't like this crap on the wall, at least that's dry. This is not. It shows how much moisture has been in there. Man, this drives me nuts. Minimum code, not even minimum code. I love you guys. Much as I hate minimum code. What do we see there? This is the wall and behind the stringers, right? There's the plastic. There's total air movement in behind it. Why is this cut? Why is this like this? Because the stairs are put in first, then they insulated, then they vapor barrier it, and then they tuck it up underneath. Required minimum code, tape all plastic. Tape all plastic. That's why we have the tape at about $10 a roll. $10 a roll. I guess they save some money, eh? Look at that wall. What are we doing, guys? You getting hot yet?
No, we're good.
No?
Yeah, perfectly fine. This is my natural flow.
We're gonna have a water fight.
At the end of the day, that sounds great. Surprises.
What are you worried about? What are you worried about, hey? What's the matter?
I'm so gonna kill you.
You're gonna like it. Going according to plan. Pain in the ass always, but it is going according to plan. We have dug down all the way around. We'll get ready for the forms. Once the forms are in place, we'll call in for an inspection. The government doesn't really care about the forms. What they want to see is that we have undisturbed soil. Just scrape it and get it down to the bottom of the footings. That way we can put the form in approximately right here, and then pour the concrete, and we'll use this footing and put the block right here. Once that's done, the footing's in place, we'll give it a couple of days. More than likely, I'm gonna start with 2 layers of cinder block all the way around the room. So in other words, 2 rows, okay? Not 4 in the standard, you're allowed to do 4 a day. That way, I'll put a stop to it, I'll bring in my spray foam guy, he'll hit in behind it, and then drive it up the wall into the floor joists. And we're laughing. We get this done, we have the thermal break, no more insulation on the inside, no more vapor barrier, which I'm really happy about, and then we move outside. I'm gonna bring in the laser level just to see how level the existing footing is, and that doesn't appear to be that perfect. I'll set it in the middle of the room, spin it around the room, and just see what it's like, because we wanna honestly tie in. What I'm gonna do is I'm putting on my red glasses to see the line even better, and that way I can see it on my measuring tape. We are 23 3/4. So as we go across, and I'll try not to be on top of a stone or anything, all right, it's 1/8 of an inch difference, 1/4 of an inch difference. The worst of it is about 1 inch out, and it's only in the one area. So that's not too bad. We'll be able to fix that with the cinder block. So I think we'll go level with the existing footing, and then we'll just build up on the first row of cinder block.
This is gonna be our chute for our concrete. We gotta get some concrete in the basement today for our footings.
You guys have been going like crazy. As you can see, we have rebar pinned into the existing footing with form in front of it, and that way, when the concrete gets poured into the void, we'll pour it to the existing height, and what this does is help keeps it from moving. That's what we want to do, is pin it together so it stays together, because our cinder block will be coming across here. So we'll tie into the old, tie into the new, and away we go. Now, we've also put a bonder against the footing, the existing footing, so it just helps bond it.
Yep. Any rebar, any kind of adhesives we can use, they're there, let's use them. Do it right.
First time. Well, in this case, the second time, but our first time.
Our first time.
What you should do is maybe just do it in pails. It's easier to get in. We can get them right where Johnny wants them. So we'll empty this, and just maybe me and Justin can get on some pails.
We milked it up a bit. We add a little bit of an additive and not water. Want to make it a little easier to come down the chute. We make sure we don't add water. We use Super P.
It'll be dry by tomorrow morning, ready to lay block on by Monday morning. Usually they like 48 to 72 hours before you put too much weight on the new footing. By Monday morning, it'll be nice and white and ready to go.
You guys are slow.
It's not me, I'm waiting for the wheelbarrow.
John goes fast as a truck.
But I'm not blaming anybody.
Come on, let's go.
We got 5 guys down there doing this. Right? 2 people.
We're faster inside than they are outside. All they got to do is wheel it.
See? Waiting.
Well, you know what? What creates the competition is putting the fire under people's butts. Come on, you're slow, you're slow. And then they're running out here, and we got to keep up with them inside. 30 minutes, you got to love it.
We've already had the local utility turn the power off for us. What I'm going to be doing is disconnecting the cables here, cutting out this LB. Once this LB is cut out, we're going to be extending it to 8 inches so that the block will continue all the way up. So for now, all I'm going to be doing is taking the wires out from under here, take the panel off. This way the boys can get back to work. Oh, look at this. How's that? No glue. You can see there's very, very little glue in there. And here, there's no glue at all. Works out perfect for me because now all I have to do is add in 8 inches here rather than the 2 that's here. So, thanks for being a dumbass. This staple was under here, just like so. So I pulled out the staple and I noticed that they hammered it way too tight and the shielding's now been damaged on this. These staples should be very snug, just like this one is. They shouldn't be tight because if there's any extra current that's going through, you get a surge power going through, this will be so tight against the shield that it will cause an arc right here.
Well, you know what? I said the inside of the concrete looks really good. It actually doesn't, because look at that. Who needs a drill? I can actually go through this wall. If I kept going, imagine this being a prison. Man, you'd be out in what, 2 days? Now, seems like a lot of work. It is. What am I doing? One, the landing was not supported properly. All they did was, you can see, is cut pieces of 2x4, concrete nailed that into a foundation that's not even strong enough to hold it. Two, there was no real supports on this side. So, with me coming off my 2 rows of cinder block, I'm gonna come up exactly on this inside edge, not the outside, the inside with 2x6. I'm gonna come up and support this. I'm gonna build around it, continue up and support the existing structure. Right from this point, we'll come directly up to the triple header that you see right there, which structurally supports that side. I reduce my depth of 9 inches at this point, 8-inch cinder block, 1-inch space. And this way, I move in with a 2x6 wall, come up. I can pick up all the load here, and at the same token, allow me to move the stairs back in just a bit to give me that space that I need. I'm sweating a little bit, I'm hot, I'm a little frustrated that I have to do this. However, I'm gonna do it right. This is my house now, and as long as it's my house, I'm gonna build it and fix it properly. Couple screws in there, couple screws in there. Once you're set at the bottom, that's where it should be. So it's out about 3/4 of an inch. 32 plus, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna drive that in here, lifting this up, and screw it all in place, okay?
Very good.
That's level. Good.
Looks better?
Screw it. Remember I talked about how we need blocking in here? Because what we have to imagine is that our structure is carried on the outside walls and picks up the weight load of the house. This point here carries outside wall all the way up. So how much weight load does it span over this distance in time? You won't believe how much. Let me show you. This is why it has to be blocked in the first place and not now. You see that?
Oh.
That is 3/8 of an inch down. Right there, 3/8 of an inch. By code, when we run our floor joists this way, we must brace off this side to help displace the load to keep this out. That should have been done in the first place. This is what I talk about when you do something wrong. From here to here is 3/8 of an inch down.
Too late.
Yeah. You learning?
Learning.
That's what I want to hear. So I want 76 3/8 plus, and when I say plus, I'm adding a 16th. Rather than going minor 16th talk, I go 76 3/8, okay? When I make that cut, I want to split that line. You see where my cut is? Okay, I'm really almost on the money, right? 76.5 plus. Look at the wood, mark the crown, measure it, mark it, cut it.
31 3/4 minus.
I could have cut them by now. Just triple checking, double checking. Oh my God, I don't want to bring over a stud. That's wrong.
It's like it moved a bit, buddy.
One? Took all that time for one? Obviously, you see that we broke the floor, put in new footings, and have to carry the structure. You don't even want to know about this wall. I'm hoping that you can spray down there, bring it right up the wall, hit all the floor joists up. I've opened it, I've put in my blocking, bracing, everything I have to do, and I'm hoping that you can just continue to spray up, right?
Not a problem. No, you've left us good access. It's good.
You ever sprayed directly over the foundation before?
Yeah, we do all the time.
Yes.
We do all the time. The reason you use spray foam is to get rid of the airspace. The airspace is what causes the problem. The air in the bed of insulation, the air behind styrofoam, or even if you trap air behind urethane foam, you've got an uncontrollable surface on the back side. If the moisture gets on there, then you got this water, you got potentially maybe air movement in a pocket.
Wrap it, trap it?
Exactly.
That's exactly.
It doesn't matter what product you're using. If you use, even if you use foam insulation and you sprayed it on tar paper or something, you'd still be trapping moisture behind it. That's why you want to be in intimate contact with the outside surface.
I like the words you use. Intimate contact, a little bit of love. It's good for us all. There's gonna be a lot of government officials that say, Mike, you're full of it. Really? Well, each and every day I open this up and I show it doesn't work. Who's full of it? After you. What I love about this, minimum code requirement says that the foundation wall should be 15 MPa. The cinder block is minimum code 18 MPa. In other words, the block is actually stronger than the foundation wall. In this case, way stronger because this foundation is dropped down to a 6, in between 6 and 8 MPa. So when we have this, makes you wonder, why did we go from cinder block to a poured foundation?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. A little bit of a traffic zone. Up and down like a toilet seat. I feel used.
Oh, it's a good hard workout. This is how I started. It was laboring for about 3 brick layers, and it was tough work. And this is reminding me an awful lot like the old days. My first day back after about a 15-year layoff. It's not fun.
So today we're gonna put up 4 rows if we can, right? Because we're gonna go 4 at a time.
That's what we're shooting for. So we should be able to get up about 3.5, 4 feet
Okay.
with a new block today.
Okay.
And then tomorrow we can continue on up.
I'm coming. Now, this is what I call exercise. And we're starting outside today as well?
Yes, we are. We're putting a window well in right in beneath this window.
Okay.
Because the way the deck and everything is on the outside, this window here, the windowsill is actually below grade. And we're going to dig down here right to the weeping tile in front of this window. We're going to put in a 4-inch drain right down to the weeping tile and right up to inside this window well.
I think, you know what, that should be minimum code because I'm sick of seeing it that when the window well's in place, all it does is they only put in about 3 inches of stone in there. And because of the earth will hold that water, so a heavy rain is just going to flood it and drive it into the window.
Exactly what happens.
Right across these wonderful edges.
We're going to clean this all off, chip it all off, whatever wants to come off. We're going to use some adhesives on there. We're going to get a nice coat of Portland concrete cement with fine sand, make it all smooth again. We're going to continue our waterproofing process right from where it is now. In behind that, we're going to continue it right up to grade.
Well, I guess you can tell that we have actually cut off the power to your house, moved the hot water heater, moved all your ductwork that was in the way, the plumbing that was in the way, cut the floor.
I'm just amazed what they've done in this short period
In
of time.
such a short time. I can't believe it.
Hammering open this floor and carrying all that stuff out by hand, just
And carrying all this brick down by hand.
probably on the hottest day of the summer so far. I couldn't believe it.
Poured in new footings. We pinned into your existing footings so we don't have a variance difference within the floor like this. Started the cinder block. We brought in what I want to call a 100% thermal break, the wall tight, and sprayed in behind after 2 rows and up into the floor joists so we no longer need vapor barrier.
There's no question how complicated this was, and we knew that. The fact that we're attached by a garage to our neighbor didn't help the situation.
Okay, let me tell you about your insulation. Once we started pulling it down, it was soaking wet. The whole perimeter of your home was soaking wet.
And the smell is completely gone.
Yep.
It was musty, borderline moldy smelling.
An area right in here, I just showed how weak your concrete wall was. I took my pry bar and I could just groove right into the concrete. This was a necessity to restructure your home. We will put up 2x8s across the floor and then put in non-shrinkable grout. Once we're at the height that we pack in that non-shrinkable grout, taking the weight load of your existing home. But as your floor joists on the outside wall, we had to remove all the crap they did and put in proper blocking in there to help carry the load on the outside wall that is not supported by joists this way. We're still addressing the outside as we're digging down to inspect to see how much it's falling. At this point, we're only seeing a very small amount because the ground was actually protecting the wall. Even though it was keeping it moist, it was protecting the wall. So unfortunately, we want that breathable surface at the top, but we're gonna close it off to protect it. It'll have to breathe out the top of underneath the brick. Okay. We don't have a choice. We must protect the foundation. We're now putting in a window well at this area with a vertical weeper right to your weeping tile. So what that does is if water collects in there, it goes directly to the drain rather than it just sitting in the ground because you're a clay base out here, right? And it doesn't drain through the clay very well at all. But all in all, please keep smiling. 2 more weeks, I'll give you your house back, okay?
Thanks.
My new friend here is offering me a job. I'm thinking of taking it. It's pretty hot. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. We'll see you maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, bye.
This is where we're gonna use the non-shrinkable grout, where we're gonna use a cake.
Yeah, the bag.
Yeah, the bag and just get it right in there.
Yeah.
I like your haircut, looks good.
We'll get all the anchor bolts in today, get them all put into place. We'll get everything built up pretty much to
Well, do
just
you
the
plan
underside
on
of
just
the
putting the anchor
plate.
bolts through the top plate and then blocking up to it and then
That's right.
tying in on that last
Right.
one? You just have to pull it up, slip your block in,
That's
drop
right.
the pin down,
That's
and
right.
fill that with the non-shrinkable grout. Okay.
We should be able to get her pretty much finished up there today, Mike, right to the top.
I've got 2 2x4s. I'm going to place them on the wall, and then the panel board right on top. Legally speaking, at this point here, I can mount right to that block. I don't need any insulation behind it. You've already installed insulation behind the block. I can go right to the wall. Just to keep it neat, I'm just going to add 2 2x4s just for neatness.
And give you the room to drill the holes and run the wires through. So you're just
Yes.
going to bring your 2x4s in, drill holes so you can loop from the side and in.
Correct. This would be the long way of doing it, you know, obviously it's taking more time and do it like this. But as you can see, it's going to be a neater look. The before and after, there's no comparison. It's a lot neater. This is the way I would expect it done in my house. Takes a little more time, but you get what you put in.
So this is the main backwater valve that we're going to be installing on the main line here. As you can see right inside, there's a plate which under normal circumstances lies on its back, and as soon as you get water coming into the house, it lifts up, closes up, and then it stays in that position as long as the water presses against it in case of a flood or in case of a backup. This sits approximately, we got it positioned right here. This is what it's going to look like at the end.
So that way we can get to it.
This is an access panel. It's going to go right over top of that, and it's going to be flush with the cement.
How come this is the first time I've seen this? I've never seen these before.
You know what? They're very, not too many homeowners are aware of it, or not too many homeowners install them until they actually get a disaster in the basement, until they get a flood in the basement. But this is this is one of the steps, one of the preventative measures that every homeowner can take to avoid property damage.
Oh, it makes sense to me. We don't have any crap coming back in the system.
Exactly.
Really
Exactly.
simple, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. What we've done initially is we've done what we call a dry fit, where we sort of pre-assembled all the pieces together, all the fittings. We put the markings on them so that once we start gluing everything together, it's just simply a puzzle. You try to connect and make sure all the points match properly. So, primer should always be applied before the glue. What it does, it cleans the surface of the pipe and gets rid of all the obstacles or that may conflict with the bonding. It just reassures you that the connection is done properly and it holds well.
We've got holes drilled into the cavities in the block.
Okay.
The very first course is sitting on the new foundation.
Did you do it all the way around?
Yes, we did.
So what are we flush with the floor at that point?
Actually, we're a little bit lower here.
We're a little bit lower.
So our floor finish off, just you won't see anything.
Oh, good.
It'll just be concrete floor.
And it's just
over
enough,
to it.
that little bit of concrete,
Just
it'll
enough.
pierce it and get down
Yep.
into the weeping, if there's ever a flood in the basement.
It'll be able to get out and work its way over to the weeping tile, which is right beneath it.
Okay. Nice.
It's gonna work well. It'll work well.
Yeah. Sorry, they're going slow down there now. They need me back down there. You need me down there, don't you? Let me fix your hair.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful.
That's the last one?
Last one.
Water. Johnny, I see you've done an awesome job here. You know what I'm going to do around all the ductworks and things like that? I'm going to get some rock salt, the fire-rated insulation.
Oh, yes.
So I'll put it in around that. I'll fill all the voids so we protect our spray foam. And you're almost done the non-shrinkable grout injection.
Yep. We're all ready for the floor now, so yeah, we're good to go.
We're going to install the runs right now, while you guys put the insulation on the other side.
Okay.
After that, we'll install our ductwork.
Okay, so we're just working assembly.
We'll work on this side for now, and then when you guys are done that end, we'll put the ductwork on.
Yeah, because once we put the cold and return back in, we're not going to be able to
That's
reach it. We can get above it, but there's no
It's
sense.
easier now. You might as well do it now, and we'll wait, then install it after.
Think
Make the
ahead.
job easy for both of us.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Today, for the work you're doing, patching around the footings there and patching the floor, it's an Ultra 25 MPa with a 10 mil P-stone.
So our standard minimum code 25 MPa for the floor.
Right.
And we're going to add some fibers to help keep it bonded.
We got stealth fibers in there just to help.
Stealth
it a little
fibers?
bit. Yeah.
So for low flying?
Yeah, pretty well. It's a fiber that helps bury itself into the concrete so you don't get them sticking up.
Okay.
And with the P-stone and with the work your guys are going to do, it should turn out nice.
Now, this is why we want to have a magnesium chute. Because this is going to be a pain in the ass. Oh, wood. No, it's just going to grab the concrete and we got to force it down. Where if we had a magnesium, wet it, just slides down. Now he looks hot. Let's just see how she fits. Fit it so it's perfectly fit with the top.
Okay.
Then we're going to put a level off, scribe the wall, and we're going to mount a 2x4 to that so we have a filler strip here.
Okay. Do you think we should attach to the stair, or do you want to attach to the wall?
Attach a 2x4 to the wall so we
Okay.
can actually
All
put
right.
it into the 2x4 as well. All right, so that's going to give us the strength we need. Once this is all done, everybody's done doing what we got to do. Let's put a rail up on this side.
No problem.
Just a 2x4 rail.
Okay.
We just add a little bit of PL premium to the back of the 2x4 that it bonds to the wall just for strength. We're still going to hit it right into the vertical 2x6s. Then we're going to tag the stairs into that, quickly put up a rail, carpet goes in, clean up, finish off the last little things. And I'm sure they want to come home. It's been a while, almost a month.
That is excellent. Great.
Okay, so drop a screw in there.
We just got word from the inspector that we have to be 4 inches below the 90 for the electrical panel. So right now we're gonna dig this area down, put a well here. Instead of using an ugly window well, we're gonna use some of the brick from the backyard. Kind of tie the look into the front drive and in the back.
piping in the hot water tank right now. We had to disconnect it because everything kind of moved over when they put the block wall up. So we disconnected the gas pipe for the hot water tank and the dryer. So today we're just gonna reconnect everything, test all our joints. That's what this stuff is. It's a soap solution that when you put it on the joints, if there is any leaks, you'll have some bubbles that come up. And if we got no bubbles, that's a good sign, like they say. No bubbles, no troubles.
How often you change those blades?
As often as it needs it. Hit a staple right away. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna put a couple staples down on the bottom, down as far as we can. It's not as easy as it looks.
No. Hey, it never looked easy to me.
That's what I love about you guys. You make sure everything's sealed, eh? Well, it's not too often I fix a basement and don't finish it. But in this case, you know what? It looks really good. The homeowners, even the rough-in looks way better. The drain stacks are perfectly plumb. Now they can finish the basement all they want. I'm used to making things beautiful. It's what I love to do. I love to create. I love to design basements, additions, etc. How many times do I gotta go in and fix something that somebody else did, and it doesn't look good at the end? It's just fixing something. All right, I'm pleased. I'm gonna go get them. It's not the roof. It's not the doors. It's not the windows. It's the foundation. I mean, like, listen to the word. The foundation of any organization is the structure. It is the structure of the home. It would be the hardest thing to fix in the home if something goes wrong. Too bad we didn't finish the whole basement.
It's okay.
Well, you see, we still have space here, right? We do. And my guys, through going up and down with about 1 million buckets of dirt and tons of stone and concrete, we demoed the carpet down here, so I gave you brand new carpet on the stairs. Make them quick, make them cheap, because they don't want to put out any money. You make them quick, you make them cheap, how are you gonna make it right? You can't. We're cinder block now.
And we're dry.
And we're drying. Do you notice the temperature difference down here?
Absolutely.
It's warm.
That's the thermal break, okay? So we put up that wall tight on the walls in between, which is what I wanted. So now no insulation goes here and no vapor barrier if you ever finish in the future.
Right.
What a temperature difference, eh?
Yeah. Big
I'm
time.
sorry it's no longer cool down here,
No,
but you're
it's
gonna
all
love it in the winter.
Yeah.
It's almost guaranteed. It should be in writing. Honestly, it should be in writing, right in the contract. Beware, you may get screwed. Now, you know, we had no power for 2 weeks. We were running on generators, and I had Frank and my electricians come in, and I also had a whole new panel put up for you and properly installed with a wonderful surge protector on your whole home. This doesn't mean just because you have a computer and we're protected here, still use a surge protector on your TV and all your valuables. But this is, for bang for your buck, the best you could ever have, because if lightning ever hits, it's gonna save everything in the house, and I look at it as a double backup. You gotta stand up for what you sell or what you do, but in this business of building and renovations, man, the buck gets passed to you. Now outside, we dug down about 3 feet, repaired the wall, put up more plant product or more of a dimpled black product on top, brought it up, graded. I even had to do a small well around, right outside here. The well is here because by code, that little junction box that's outside that feeds the main cable through must be 4 inches off the ground.
Right.
So obviously the electrical safety guys come in and say, hey, we want that 4 inches above ground. I said, I didn't do it. We want that electrical thing above ground. I said, okay, we put in a well. And I understand it, but obviously someone had some blinders on when they come and checked out the builder here, didn't they? Yeah. I think it's time we have a new law. One that says, if you build it, you take care of it. You fix it. Why do I gotta come in and do about, I don't know, $75,000 worth of work to something that easily could have been done right the first time? And all it took was whoever was building to put in that care to make sure it was done right. That's all it took. Here's the mistake. No one cared.
We thought we had picked a good builder and somebody that cared, and evidently we were wrong, and we'll learn from those mistakes.
Also, on the outside, we made sure that we have a new window well right down to the weeping tile with a vertical drainage, okay? Because you put in that pad out there and brought up the height, so we had to change it and fix that. All new stone in the side of the house here for proper drainage. Everything was addressed to the point where I'm happy, and hopefully now you're happy.
It looks great.
In the long run, you know, it worked out great. But imagine spending around $75,000 for something with no change, other than safety. That should have been done in the first place.
It was a very interesting experience, and I would certainly do it again. I wouldn't want to go through it again, but I'd certainly do it again.
Thanks very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
You're welcome.
It's great.
Give me my pen.
Okay.
You mean Mr. Holmes?
What's your name, sir?
Ryan Griffin.
Ryan. A pleasure to meet you.
Hands up.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. No problem.
You're the big bad guy?
The eighth bad guy.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you.
See, you're not that tall.
I'm not that tall.
Here's the permit that we opened for this house because I couldn't believe the permits we had to have, electrical permit, everything else. And on the back of it is everyone's signatures. First time in history, you have everyone's signature that worked on the
isn't
job.
that nice?
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Another job well done.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you very much, guys.